ChatGPT can save you hours, but only if you know how to ask it in the right way. In this guide, I'll give you the exact formula for beginners to use to go from random answers to personalized results you can trust. So here's the thing. A lot of people think ChatGPT is just a fancier Google search. You type something in and it spits something out. Now, you can use it that way, but that's not really what's happening. Let me show you. If I search Google for best workouts for beginners, I get a wall of links and ads. Now I have to click through each one, read them all, filter out the sponsored links, and figure out what actually makes sense for me. It's like someone hands you a stack of books and says, good luck. But with ChatGPT, you can just type the same request in plain English, like you're texting a friend. Instead of sending you on a scavenger hunt through 10 different websites, it just gives you a starting point that you can use right away. But the real magic is that ChatGPT is a conversation. You don't have to stop at the first answer. You can ask it to refine things and adapt it to your situation. And here's a super simple trick that makes this even better. Whenever you finish a prompt, end it by asking, are there any other questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? That one line flips the script. Instead of you guessing what details ChatGPT might need, it will actually tell you. Things like, do you have equipment? What's your main goal? Suddenly you're not getting a generic answer anymore. You're getting something built for you. And that's the difference between ChatGPT and Google. It's not just a one-time answer. It's an ongoing conversation that gets smarter the more context you give it. And the best part? ChatGPT is free to use. If you make a free account, it even remembers your past chats, so you can pick up where you left off. And you don't need fancy setup either. You can just use it right from your phone, like texting a friend. And that's what I'll show you throughout this video, how to go from basic questions to useful, customized answers for your everyday life. Earlier, I showed you the simple trick of ending your prompts by asking ChatGPT for more info, and how that alone can transfer a generic answer into something more personalized. Now, let's take it a step further, because whether you're writing your first prompt or refining something more complex, there's a simple formula that works every time. I call it the Prompt Power Guide, and you can download it for free using the link in the description of this video. First is the issue. What do you actually want ChatGPT to work on? Be specific about the problem or the task. For example, instead of just saying, help me budget, say, help me create a budget that saves $200 a month for travel. The more context, the better. Second is the role. Give ChatGPT a persona to adopt. This changes the perspective of the answer. You might say, act as a job recruiter reviewing my resume, or act as a highly critical but well-meaning friend giving advice. Third is tone. Do you want your answer formal, casual, or maybe simplified for a certain grade level? You can literally say, explain this to me like I'm a 9th grader, or make it sound professional. Fourth is output type. What format do you want in the end? An email, a checklist, a Word document, or maybe even an Excel spreadsheet? Telling it the output generates a result in the format that you want to work with to keep things practical. And last is refinement. This is where you give the follow-up instructions if the first response isn't perfect. You might say, shorten this to one paragraph, or add real-life examples. That's how you go from okay to exactly what you need. So whenever you feel stuck, just run through those 5 things. Issue, role, tone, output, and refinement. Start simple, then tweak as you go. That's how you unlock the real power of ChatGPT. One of the simplest but most powerful ways to use ChatGPT is for brainstorming. If you ever feel stuck, whether it's for work, side projects, or just life in general, you can use it like it's a brainstorming partner that never runs out of ideas. In seconds, you got a list of options to work with. But here's where my tip comes in. At the end of your prompt, add, are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? Now, ChatGPT can ask you about things like your skills, your free time, or your budget, which means instead of a generic list, you have ideas that actually fit your situation. So here's your next action step. Pick one area of your life right now where you're stuck. Maybe it's career ideas, or hobbies, or even things to do this weekend. Ask ChatGPT for 10 ideas, and then add that one simple question at the end so it can help you refine them. You'll be surprised how quickly it helps you going from random suggestions to things that you could actually try. ChatGPT isn't just for quick answers. It can actually help you learn things faster. For example, here I can type in, act as a teacher for 9th grader. Please explain compound interest in a clear, simple way with an example. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? See how you can make a concept simple, but then refine it even further? Same idea, tailored for different content. Now, on top of providing detailed explanations, ChatGPT can help you structure long-term learning. I've been teaching myself Japanese, but instead of starting from scratch, I use ChatGPT to help me build a study plan. So for here, I can type in, act as a Japanese language tutor. Please create me a 12-week roadmap for learning beginner Japanese. Make it supportive and step-by-step, including recommended resources and links. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? In seconds, I had a structured plan laid out, complete with reference materials and links. And when I refined it for my schedule, it gave me a version that fit the exact time I had in my day. Suddenly, I wasn't just guessing how to learn. I had a personalized guide that I could actually follow. For your next action step, choose any skill you've been meaning to learn. It could be a language, coding, or even guitar. Ask ChatGPT to create you a detailed study plan with reference materials and resources. Then refine it for the time you realistically have each week. Another way ChatGPT shines is with productivity and organization. Think of it like an assistant that helps you through the chaos. In this example, let's type, act as a productivity coach. Please answer in a clear, motivating style and organize this messy to-do list into a prioritized checklist. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? Now, instead of staring at a jumble of tasks, ChatGPT can turn it into a prioritized checklist that I can actually act on. And you can take it further by having it add deadlines or break large tasks into smaller steps. And it's just as handy for emails. Watch this. Let's put, act as a professional assistant. Write a respectful but firm email asking my landlord about a broken sink. Provide 2 versions I can choose from. Now you've got 2 polished drafts that you can tweak instead of starting from scratch. That alone saves you 15 to 20 minutes each time you need to write something important. As a side note, for productivity actions, always add time limits into your prompts. Telling ChatGPT, make me a 2-hour plan or fit this into a 30-minute routine, forces it to give you something you can actually use. Your action step? Tonight, paste your real to-do list into ChatGPT. Let it organize it into a clean checklist with priorities. You'll feel the difference immediately. And once you see it work on your tasks, you'll never want to go back to the old ways. Now let's look at how ChatGPT can handle everyday problems that eat up time and energy. Instead of digging through recipes or scrolling through travel sites, you can treat it as a personal assistant that solves things for you on the spot. For this example, let's type, act as a personal chef. Here's what I have in my fridge and pantry. Create 3 dinner ideas under 30 minutes each that are budget friendly. Instead of wasting time figuring out what to do with a half-empty fridge, you instantly get a set of meals built around what you already have. For our travel example, let's type, act as a travel agent. My flight got canceled and I'm stuck in Chicago for 24 hours. In a supportive, budget-conscious style, create a 1-day itinerary with low-cost food options and attractions. Instead of stress and wasted time, you've got a ready-to-go itinerary that makes the most of your situation. Here's your action step. Try ChatGPT the next time you're stuck, whether that's with food in your fridge, or a last-minute schedule change, or even filling a free weekend. Don't just ask for ideas. Ask it to work within your real-world limits, like time, money, or what you already have. That's where it stops being a search tool and starts being a problem solver. And finally, one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT is helping with your career or your daily life. Let's have it try this. Act as a career counselor. In a supportive but realistic style, give me career options for someone who enjoys problem solving and creative work, but doesn't want to go back to school full time. Include pros and cons for each. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? Instead of scrolling aimlessly through random job boards, ChatGPT can give you ideas that fit your strengths, and even show you the trade-offs with each path. As another use case, you can ask ChatGPT to provide lifestyle advice tailored to your specific habits and schedule. In this example, let's have ChatGPT act as a lifestyle coach. We'll have it create a 1-week schedule to reset healthier habits. Make it encouraging but practical, balancing work, family time, and a side project. Are there any questions you'd like me to answer to create a better result? And just like that, you've got a realistic schedule that balances your priorities instead of adding more chaos. Here's your next action step. Ask ChatGPT to design a reset plan, either for your career or your daily routine. Then refine it until it feels realistic for your life. Don't stop at the first answer. Keep shaping it until it's something you can actually stick to. And here's the tip. When you're asking for a reset plan, always include your non-negotiables, like family time, budget limits, or must-have weekends off. That makes the plan sustainable instead of just idealistic. So that's ChatGPT in action, not just answering questions, but helping with everyday life, learning, productivity, and even big picture resets. The key is don't stop at the first response. Keep the conversation going until it fits your life. If you'd like a quick cheat sheet to remember the 5 keys, I've linked the prompt power guide in the description below. It's free and it'll help you start using ChatGPT with stronger prompts right away. If this video helped you see how ChatGPT can make your life easier, hit like so more people can find it, and subscribe for more tools to help you reset and organize your life. And if you're curious about the bigger picture, not just the tools, but what it actually feels like to hit a turning point in life, check out my video, What Turning 30 is Really Like. It's a great next step if you're in that place of figuring out what's next.